of the National Insurance Scheme, starting the enfranchisement of the Social Security of our people, which is so critical. As you hear every evening at 5:30, it's your lifeline. My friends, I have carried us on this journey, for it only then to be further expanded by Tom Adams and Owen Arthur with respect to economic enfranchisement, Tom Adams with the enfranchisement of people with property with the Tenantries Freehold Purchase Act. When I say to persons you can buy land in Barbados under the Tenantries Freehold Purchase Act, the Plantation Tenantries Freehold Purchase Act, for 5 US cents a square foot, people look at me as if I am telling a lie or if I am mad. And that you can effectively buy 5,000 square feet for cheaper than you can buy a pair of sneakers, even in Barbados today in 2024 as we speak. With the continued expansion of that to the Urban Tenantries Freehold Purchase Act, allowing persons to buy at $1.25 US in the urban areas, even though the price of land around it is significantly higher, introduced by Owen Arthur. With the establishment of other critical institutions, from the banking to the insurance sector to the Fair Trading Commission, to ensure equity and fairness as far as possible in matters pertaining to competition, consumer rights, and of course, utilities regulation. We have not done it always perfectly, but we have done a hell of a lot to be able to move our people. But there are some things that still remain ahead of us. And the message that I want to leave us here this evening with is that in spite of all that we have achieved, because of the world in which we are living, where we are confronting crises that are outside of our reach to simply solve on our own, like the climate crisis, like the pandemic that had us restricted in our houses as if we were prisoners in our own land, like the geopolitical difficulties that have seen war and coup d'etat rise again across the nation states of the world, like crime that has seen the Caribbean, some of our sisters nations, confront a level of gravity with respect to the number of homicides of our own people, and like our own battles, while way behind many of the others in the region, sufficiently worrisome that our call must now be simply for us to step up and to show that when Marcus Garvey told us that none but ourselves can free our minds, that we have accepted that, and that we have the capacity to chart our way by the choices we make. The choices we make in our homes, the choices we make in our friendships, the choices we make in our actions, the recognition that to see and don't speak up will inevitably lead you to read things that you don't want to read. Because if you don't intervene, if you spare the rod and spoil the child, metaphorically, if you refuse to speak with our children and raise them up in the ways that allow them to know the difference between right and wrong, beyond knowing how to spell the difference, then I say to you, we will reap what we sow. When our great-grandfathers and great-great-grandparents and great-great-great-grandparents, depending on how old you are, benefited from the emancipation that was theirs 190 years ago come next Thursday, it was not freedom. They were forced to remain in servitude effectively for another 4 years under an apprenticeship system.